Hi guys, happy Tech Tuesday. Today I wanted to show you a little bit more into the Schoology calendar. We had our meeting and one of our goals in this next year is to utilize the calendar in every class to put down assignments. But I also wanted to show you some really cool things about how I use Schoology. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into one of my classes right now. And every week, the first thing that I put in my class is a weekly agenda. I go through Monday through Friday, and I kind of say everything that we're doing that week on our agenda. But I don't want just my agenda here. I wanted to actually put it on my calendar as well. So what I did was I go into the agenda and I copy down the web address, and then I go to my calendar. And every week I put down our weekly agenda. For example, I have my freshman weekly agenda right here and my pre-AP English agenda. And so if my students click on this, they get a link that they can click on. And when they click on it, they go exactly to that same agenda. So not only are my assignments on the calendar already in itself, I also have a weekly look, kind of a week at a glance for my students to see. We were talking about how you do not necessarily need to populate this calendar if you use your assignments on Schoology. So for example, today is March 4th. If I went into one of my classes and I created an assignment, I'm going to make one real quick. I'm going to call it test. And I have it set due today on the 4th before midnight. When I click create on that, it's going to automatically populate in their calendar. And if I go to the calendar again, test today, there it is. So that way I never have to go and manually put in assignments if I'm already using Schoology, which is just kind of a little push for you guys to start using Schoology as well, because you don't have to worry about transferring over. And there it is again. If my students click on it, they can view that item and they can then complete it, but I haven't set any instructions for that. Another thing that you might want to be aware of in the calendar is how to delete calendar events. Somebody was struggling with this the other day, and it gets kind of interesting. So what you have to do in order to delete a calendar event that you already have is you click on it and you edit the item. Actually, I'm sorry, you view the item. Once you view the item, when you go to this gear icon in the upper right-hand corner, you can delete it there. You're not really going to be able to delete it anywhere else that I have found, but that's how I use it. You can also set dates for projects or reminders for students to bring their books. So let's say on the 11th through the 13th next week, I have a project going on. I'm going to go ahead and put that as an event, and I'm going to add an end time. Let's say I want this to span over a few days. So it's going to end on the 13th, and it's going to start on the 11th. I'm going to give it a title, Project Research in class, and I can give a description if I want to. And I want you to realize as well, in your descriptions, you have this entire editing bar up here, so you can add content, media, pictures, Google Drive things like you would an assignment. You can add links, you can make it look however you want it to look. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to say something like, make sure to bring your books. When I do that, that's fine. I always disable my comments. I don't really want students to talk to me here. I want them to talk to me in a personal message or face-to-face. I'm going to make sure that this is not going to me, so I'm going to exit off of the me, and I'm going to instead put my pre-AP class, and I'm going to go ahead and click create. Now you can see that that project is spanning those 3 days, and so if the students go on their calendar and look, it's there. If they go into the class itself, that project research is also going to be there. They can click on it and they can see what that is. That's just a couple of ways that are extra that you can use the calendar or just provide you with a little bit more information. If there's anything in specific that you want to know, please let me know. Happy Tech Tuesday, guys.